guys. Okay, sorry about that. I got my other half also messaging me from the other room. Ah, okay. Alright, so I'm going to give it just a minute or so, and while we're doing that, I need to kind of give out a little bit of information here. We have 2 Facebook pages, not on purpose. Okay, apparently now when you create your storefront on Facebook, it automatically creates a location page. So today I am streaming to that location page as well because I've had people following that page. And I need to tell them, don't follow that page. This is the one and only time I'm going to stream to that channel because that particular page is literally just for the locations for the storefront for Facebook store. So the difference between the 2 pages, okay, the names for one. Our main page is Essence of Magic, LLC. That is our main Facebook page. So if you are following a page that's named Essence of Magic, and then in parentheses it says Midwest City, that's the wrong page. I did put a post up on that page with the link to our main page. So if you're following that page, look at that post, click on it, it'll bring you to our main page. And I apologize for the confusion. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about it unless Facebook, manages to change the way they do things, which we all know that's not going to happen. So, just please, if you're following the Essence of Magic Midwest City page, it should be the post directly from yesterday. Click on the link for that. It'll bring you to our main Facebook page, and then you can follow, do whatever you want, but you'll see all of our updates and yes, they do. And as you can see, I finally got the chat working. So now everything's integrated properly. Not only can I see it, but you guys can see it as well. So yay! But okay, so into the nitty gritty here. We've got actually quite a bit going on today. You can hear the printer cranking away behind me. I'm sorry, I seem to be stumbling over my words today. Not a whole lot I can do about it. Okay, so we already have our wax in the melter. And it's already ready. I've already checked the temperature and everything, but of course I'll do it again before we mess with our wax melts. Because that is what I need today. I need melts and I need tarts. So you're going to see me break into my molds as well. These are containers that are already ready. They've got the warning label on the back. There we go. You can see all the shiny on the shimmer. Okay, and the label already done on the front. Yes, Sonia, I made sure they're facing the right way this time. Yes, we do. And I agree with that 100%. I even said that last week on the stream that I wanted to get a camera specifically for the 3D printer. Since I can't stream from the camera that's inside the printer, for some reason it won't let me. Oh, you're fine. But, okay, so, and yeah, I'm in pajamas. I'm wearing a bra though, but I'm comfortable. And that's how I work best, is comfortably. But, okay, so, there were a few things I wanted to touch base with on today. So as you saw, I have the 3 containers that we need for our current supply of wax melts. But then I am also um, looking at let me go this way so we don't get confused here. Paper will let me fold it over. There we go. Okay, so as far as my current inventory and what we have, we need a dragon cam too. Yeah, you guys should see. Well, of course you see. I sent the picture. When I did the post for Lightheart, when I finished Darkheart and I posted the 2 Lighthearts, the very last picture in there is of my credenza / TV stand, whatever you want to call it, all along the top of that that piece of furniture are all my dragons, and right now I believe there are 8 of them. Number 9 is in the printer. Number 10 will get printed. And from there, we are actually going to be switching gears from full dragons to doing keychains. Now, I know that I put in the description for today's streams that we would be possibly putting together our first keychain. Unfortunately, that is not the case because the one piece that I thought I had salvaged from that monstrosity that happened to poor Darkheart the first time I tried to print him in these colors. As you can see, the actual tail printed beautifully, except for one piece. This piece right here, which is critical and it cannot be removed. Everything else printed beautifully, but because of the mess up here, yes, baby, I am going to be doing Tadlin keychains, because this one, for one, is way too long, and then there's the mess up in here. And it's a pretty big mess up. I mean, the whole heart shifted. So we're not going to be using this one. But I can go through the process a little bit and kind of show you how I'm going to be doing this. And there are 2 ways that I plan on doing this. Oh, sorry, I'm getting notifications down on the bottom here as well. Okay, so with these, okay, I have, and I know you can't fully see that, but I have the keychains, okay, and I have the little connector piece, which I already pulled apart because I wanted to make sure it was going to fit around the little link. And while it does fit, just barely, you know, I'm hoping with the keychains that, since I'm going to be using Tadlings or, you know, things like the smaller dragons, that these little, you know, loops here will actually be a little bit smaller, so it'll fit a lot better and it'll move all nice and basically do all that. That's what I'm hoping, yes. So, okay. But like I said, this one has a pretty major mess up on it, so we're not going to be using that. So hopefully next week I'll have a bunch printed and we can kind of go through those. Because for right now, this one is just pretty much going to look prettier for me. Because I can deal with a little mess up, you know, it's just mine. You know, but I won't sell the mess ups, if that makes sense. And if I do sell them, they get sold at a discount at an oops pile. So there's that information. Okay, so since we are not going to be doing the keychains, I am going to show you guys really quick the dragon that's in the printer, basically just showing you guys the color profile, since it won't let me share the camera. But it will give you guys a really good idea of what she looks like when she will be done. You'll just have to keep in mind, of course I can't make the colors in the program exact, but I can get pretty dang close. So I'm going to switch screens, and then I'm going to tell it to share that screen. So give me one moment. Okay, right now it's sharing my Firefox properties. And boo, there we go. Okay, so isn't she gorgeous? Okay, so the dark gray that you're seeing on her isn't actually being printed in that dark gray. Okay, her moons are not going to be a dark gray. They're actually going to be a silver, a really nice, pretty, shiny silver. Okay, of course her horns, her nails, her teeth, you know, the whites of her eyes, those are all white. And then she's got that beautiful turquoise for all her feathers and her base color. So this is the dragon that we currently have in the printer. Okay, and like I said, you know, she, you know, the colors will vary slightly. You know, but this gives you a really good idea. Okay. Now this, I remember a few streams ago, I had showed you guys because I had a lunar dragon in the printer, and she was blue on blue with, and as nice as the dragon came out, it was still just a little too much blue on blue for me. So she is out, you know, on display with the rest of them on my credenza. Yeah, I tried that, and unfortunately when I click on device and it starts playing, it doesn't come through on the screen. Because I'm getting picture when I look at it, but the stream doesn't get the video feed. You know, I'm not really sure why, but or maybe it just takes a few minutes. And I know that's what I said the first time was, okay, that's weird. But yeah, it unfortunately it doesn't show the video, and I don't understand why. And it hasn't been recording them either. You know, if I go into the SD cards where my time lapses are supposed to be, I've got nothing. So I'm thinking maybe my SD card is too small to hold the time lapses, in which case, you know, next month I will get a bigger SD card to put in the printer. Okay. But yeah, so let me go back to the main screen here. Okay. Hi. And forgive the blanket over there. It's actually just draped up on a couple of pillows, but I have a sick kitty under there. He refused to be without me today, so I had to let him into the room. And the only way I could keep him from climbing all over everything was to give him a nice, warm, cozy spot. So he's currently hunkered under the little tent of a blanket, staying warm because he has a cold. My poor little boy has a cold. But he has been getting better the past couple of days. And I actually got him to eat quite a bit today, so he is feeling a little bit better, but he's still very whiny and mama orientated. You know, he wants to, if he's not under a blanket curled up asleep, he wants to be on my shoulder curled up on me. Which normally I don't have a problem with. You know, I love it when he does that. He my little boy. But yeah, so we've got a cold that's about to run rampant in the house with the cats, unfortunately, because My little biscuit, he's not our youngest, but my little biscuit was sneezing this morning. He started doing it last night. I heard the first sneeze out of him roughly about 8, 9 o'clock last night. And my head whipped around so quick, it was your biscuit butt. Yes, we call him biscuit butt. And if you could smell him, you would understand why. So it's probably going to cycle through all 4 of our boys. I think the only reason it's hitting Biscuit first is because Biscuit likes to terrorize Taz every once in a while. They all get along really well. It just, when Taz doesn't feel good and doesn't want to be bothered, it seems that's when Biscuit likes to mess with him the most. So, oh, the second way. Sorry. My brain went da-da-da. I was talking about I had 2 ways in mind to be able to do these keychains. Okay, and the first, is to put it on this little loop. But if that didn't work, I have this handy dandy little tiny little drill. Tiny little drill. Okay. And basically I would pre-drill a hole through it, and I have little eyelets to be able to screw in there and then attach the keychain to that. So that is a possibility as well. Take that off. Okay. It is. I had to remember to go and get it out of my old craft area in the workshop, and then that can go in the drawer for starters. But it's oh, wrong drawer. This drawer. Okay. So that was the second option for attaching keychains to these. I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put this aside. Strawberry. Sorry. Okay. One of the very first streams I did, I explained this little tart here. And this little wax tart is strawberry scented, and it's probably 3-4 months old, but it sits right up here on this little shelf that you can see, at least the bottom of it anyway. It sits right up there because I absolutely love being able to take this thing down and just smell. It'll never be melted because this is just my yeah. Okay, so I know you're seeing stuff over on the crafting area as well, and if you hear a slight crackle, I actually do have a candle lit, and it's underneath my microphone, so there we go. And yes, this was one of the original tester candles, and it's still, I may not like the wax that I used for it, but it still puts off a great scent, and I don't burn it a whole ton, but I burn it, 3 or 4 hours each time I use it, and if I use it more than once during the day, I always make sure there's 3 or 4 hours in between. Yeah, it's my strawberry snuff. Okay. So let me explain a little bit about what we're seeing over here. I know you guys are familiar with my wick list candles, and if you're not, let me explain. Okay, so I have these awesome mason jars, okay? And what I do, come on. Yeah, the lid is 2 pieces. creates a nice little suction. They're actually for canning, but they work great for candles and wax melts and stuff like that as well. So what I do with these is I create a wickless candle with them. Okay. Yeah, warning sticker on the bottom, label on the front. This one is a jar that I've been experimenting with, which is why I'm not showing you the inside, but okay, it does have a wick in it because I was testing these jars for the wood wicks as well. And they actually worked really, really well. I was really impressed. So I may end up doing a wicked candle in these as well. I'm not 100% sure if I want to go to that route yet. I use these for our limited edition wickless candles. I'm like, what do you mean you use that? Okay, so what I end up doing is I end up taking this and I end up gluing it all along the side of the lid. And I should have brought one in here because I have some already done, but I forgot. Because most of my stuff is out in the workshop. You know, that way it's easy to take out into the truck and go to my events and bring back in. And if you haven't figured out, the workshop is our garage. We converted it. It has a nice little portable AC unit in there, all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, so that's what you're seeing up here. You're seeing my warning labels, my twine here, and the jars for my wickless candles. And then over on this side, which give me a minute and I can move my camera just slightly. Knocking my stuff over. That'll work for now. Okay. At least it gives you an idea of what I got going over here. Somewhat of an idea anyway. Because I know it's not the greatest. I do need to get another camera specifically for this area over here. Because I do have dual craft, you know, it's an L-shaped desk, so I have two sides. But, okay. These are, you know, half of my labels. These are for my tarts, my wax melts. And the wickless candles. Okay, I was like, where did they go? As I said, my wax is already at temperature. And no, it's not hurting it sitting there at the temperature it's supposed to be. Okay, we're going to put this right here for right now. That stays there. I used to have these little candle dishes, and I don't know what happened to them. I think they all got broken over the years. But I'll get a couple of little plates or something to be able to put down here. That way the wax doesn't leak down into my pretty little mats here. Because they're not silicone, they're actual mouse pads. And I don't want them to get ruined. Okay, let's see. Okay, dragon's doing good. Yeah, sometimes I have to open the door to be able to see properly. I'm getting old, get blind. I'm kidding. Okay. Let's see. Wickless, wax melts. Oh, right. Do you need, there we go, put it over there. See? Okay. Back to what I was saying earlier. So these particular ones here are just replacements for ones that we have recently sold. And then of course I've got 4 tarts that I've got to do. But to be added, I have an entire list of scents that I'm going to be adding to the wax melt and wax tart collections. It is not anywhere near all the fragrances that I actually have. But I am also going to be phasing out some fragrances that we currently have already. Let's see if I can bring these up so I know. That's not some tarts. Okay, so the limited editions that we had, of course, are limited editions, which would have been the warm vanilla sugar, the cherry fruit punch, and let's see, peppermint, apple pie. Those were our limited editions. Okay, so we were going to need new scents anyway to kind of replace those, which we did get. And I actually, oh, okay, I did put it on. But let's see. Of course, we're going to keep our butt naked. We're going to keep our lick me all over. Those, of course, are our best sellers right now. So those two scents are not going anywhere. Gardenia's a little iffy. It's a beautiful spring scent, and I don't want to stop carrying it. So I'm just kind of giving that one a little bit more time to see how it does. Lavender, of course, we're keeping. Strawberry, we're keeping. Apple cinnamon is another one that's going to be kind of iffy. It's a beautifully strong smell, but I have a feeling it's only going to sell during certain times of the year. But that's my opinion. Again, it's going to see how it goes over the course of the next few months, especially once we get back out into the markets. We've got our Japanese cherry blossom. That one's not going anywhere, I promise you that. That's one of my favorite scents. And we have a regular cherry. Now, honestly, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep the cherry or not, because it feels like it's just a little too much cherry. We got Japanese cherry, regular cherry. I think I will only really need one cherry, but it depends on the scent. And right now, I made this beautiful big wickless candle for my other half, but it's not ready to put on the warmer yet. Once it is ready to put on the warmer, we can actually test that fragrance, see how it does, and I'll kind of decide from there. As of right now, it's still pretty up in the air. But some of the new ones that we're going to be adding, one of them is called Amber Romance. Oh, wait till you smell it. It smells great. Now, I did say we were taking the limited edition apple pie away, but I managed to find hot baked apple pie. So, watch, I'm not going to be able to get it open. No, I still haven't printed one of those things yet. Haven't gotten a chance. And I think I left my letter opener in the other room. I put up a ceiling fan the other day and I used it to open a box. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Now I feel like I want to go eat some pie. But that is a scent that is going to be replacing the apple pie. We're going with a hot baked apple pie. You're probably like, what's the difference? Believe it or not, there is a difference. One has got that beautiful apple pie scent, but this one, the new one, actually has a hint of cinnamon in there, which makes the actual scent so much stronger. And it's great. I love it. But all right, so let's see. Cup. have our Japanese cherry blossom, our strawberry, and our butt naked. Okay, those are to fill these over here. Top camera. These over here. Okay, those are the 3 scents we need. And then once those are done, then we can start working on newer scents. But I do want y'all's opinion because, you know, I have a feeling my candles are going to sell no problem. You know, my production set is down over here and, you know, fully boxed up, and so they're in there curing for the next few weeks. And don't worry, they were fully cooled by the time I put them in there, so I'm not trapping any moisture or anything in the containers. I have 4 candles currently that didn't fit into the box. But that's okay. They will go into the other box. No, and I need to make 2 more. But they turned out beautiful. Let's see if you can see that. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful smooth tops. Okay. One way. There we go. Came out beautiful, didn't it? Okay, that's rugged. I need to make another one of those. And this is the Hawaiian Blast. It smells so good. And I am very off center with that wick. Thankfully, with the wicks I used, it'll burn. Even slightly off center, it'll do what it needs to do. Okay, and some of our crystal series, I know y'all really didn't get to see a whole ton of these, and they are finished now as well. Weird. Okay, this one is a chamomile. It has labradorite. I just want to say labradorite. Crystals in it, which aren't the prettiest of crystals, but so it smells really good. It smells like chamomile. Okay, and then we've got a sandalwood, which was almost forgotten. I had to figure out which one I forgot. Sandalwood is actually very mild. Now, even in the bottle, it was very mild. Yeah, but I mean, it still smells good, but it is very mild. And these have a tiger's eye. Let's see if the light shows it. Oh, yeah. Let me switch screens so y'all can really get a good group view of that. Okay. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? And I know you can't see it from that way, but so those are the sandalwood ones. The rest of them are in the box, so I can't show you those because I'm not going to unpack the entire box. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do our 3 melts over here and get these done. And thankfully I've got a couple of older containers here, so if there is any leftover wax stuff, not a big deal because I can dump them in there. Okay, let's flip up naked. This is the strawberry. And this a little piece. It's like, wait a minute, what just fell on me? Okay, so first thing we're going to do here. Is we'll get these out of the way. Put it on the floor for right now. So, I need a couple more paper towels. I'm going to put them on the floor underneath the spout here where my wax strips. Because I'll tell you what, I've had one heck of a week with wax. I was cleaning out the pot after I finished the Crystal Series candles. Of course, I completely forgot about the spout as I was cleaning because I thought I put the wax, the leftover wax, which was, about 2 cups of wax. And I put it down over there, and as I was tilting the thing and wiping it out, the spout hit the container, and the entire container went overboard. So I got one heck of a mess. As you can see, yeah, it just kind of breaks off in chunks. But, I mean, this container gets thrown out once the soap inside has been used, and because the lid was on it, didn't hurt anything. Just made the jug a little warm. But it put this really neat texture on the wax. Right. Okay, so our paper towel is down. Let's pick up these couple of broken pieces of wax that we just took off the bottle. Throw those out. Okay. And these are 2.5, so we're gonna want 2. And I should know better. Okay, and we are in grams, so we're good. Zero it out. That gives us 2 grams, which gives us enough to add in our fragrance. It's 50 grams, so we need 5 grams of fragrance. Again. And we are at 5. Beautiful. Okay, so take these 2, bring these over here, cherry blossom, right. Just to make sure we're at the right temperature to add in our fragrance. So we are good there. I love how quick this drops back down. Okay, so let's add in our fragrance. It's actually kind of weird doing, just 1 melt at a time. I like doing the big batches, but Okay, we're going to sit here and stir for a few minutes. My strawberry snuff. And as you can probably see from the theme going on our stream, I managed to fix some of them. I got the chat working. I got a whole nother screen just for screen sharing ability, because we ran into that issue last week where I was trying to overlay what we were on. I said I was going to create the page for that, and I did. So I think our stream pages and our theme and everything is, pretty set now. I'm pretty sure I also got everything working really well, so. Sorry, eyelash. Can't really help that. They come off randomly. And apparently I didn't get it out, it just switched spots. There we go. Okay, let's check our temperature again. With the molds that I have, the max pouring temperature that these molds can handle is 150. I prefer pouring at about 130. I get a little bit better of an accurate read if I stir just slightly as I'm going. Because now I'm almost there. The temperature's actually dropping as I'm doing this, so. Right now we are at 131. Alright, so now we can pour. Then we can wipe out our container to get ready for the next set. Alright, so we are going to kind of push this one towards the back a little bit so that one can set. There's a Japanese cherry blossom. And I have gotten to the point where I'm not doing a lot of colors anymore. Because believe it or not, colors are a pain in the butt to work with. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, I put in our about page is, you know, I want these to be as natural as possible. And so with that in mind, and this way there isn't color variations between the different product lines with the same scent. You know, I decided, now mostly to do all natural. You know, no added colors, no dyes. You know, on my candles will be slightly different. Once I start doing, you know, the bigger candles, you know, 10-ounce jars and larger. You know, right now I'm sticking to the smaller ones until I get my recipes and everything down. And once I have those down and, you know, at least 90% of my candles are coming out exactly the way I want, which, you know, currently they are, but time will also tell on that, and, you know, basically my testing. Okay, and apparently my robot messed up my thing here. Give me a second, y'all. I need to go to my dashboard here. If it'll let me. Which it may not, because the stream's open. There we go. Okay. Alright, I know it just sent this message, but just bear with me a moment because I'm trying to make sure I fixed it. There we go. And nope, it still screwed up the YouTube one. Might be able to go in and edit that later, we'll see. I may just have to do them separately so it doesn't try to group them. Because as you can see, the restream shows it perfectly. Sorry, shaking all kinds of stuff here. So yeah, the restream shows it perfectly. But apparently the AI on YouTube is a little giddy. Okay, so that's the wax container. Let's get our fragrance wiped out. Ow. Really should trim my nails. It's not an easy task with nails. Okay, that's wiped out. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was going to need the big bottle or not. Apparently I didn't. Still didn't finish off the little bottle, so I'm good there. Alright, so we need more wax. After I put the thing on here. Zero it out. Good there. smell like a hint of coconut, I think. I don't know what it is. I just know it smells really, really good. There's our 5 grams for our wax melt. Okay, so now we got that. Okay. Yeah, I know I keep shaking the table. Let's take our temperature, make sure we're cool enough or warm enough still for our fragrance. Just barely warm enough for the fragrance. Okay. How did I miss that? All right. Okay, now we've got our 2-minute stir time. Which is also time for the temperature to come down to what we need. Yeah, that one's gonna be fun. And guys, remember, you can chat live with us. Click on the video. It should bring up the live chat. Type in there. If you click on just comments, sometimes it will just leave a comment on the video that I won't see until after we're done. I had that issue, unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago. A friend was trying to interact, and she was doing it through the comments, and for some reason it wasn't coming through in the chat, and I think it's because it was in the comments. At least that's the only thing I can assume. Yeah, so if you want to participate in the chat, which we would absolutely love that, I know I would. We like feedback. We like talking to people. That way we're not just sitting here talking to ourselves the entire time. But, make sure you click on the video, and it should bring up the live chat as well. At least that's for Facebook. For YouTube, I'm assuming DC can kind of fill us in on that one, I'm thinking, if she's still listening. And yes, I know I've gone over the shrugs, you got me. Okay, so next stream I'll experiment a little bit, and we'll test out YouTube's chat features and see how they work. I believe it actually comes up on the side with the live with the live chat. Okay, and yes, I stirred for 3 minutes and not 2. I tend to get better results that way. But everyone's different and everyone's results are slightly different, so it all depends on each person. And their warmers, their fragrances, and all that kind of goody stuff. This wax was already starting to cool a lot. This one cooled very quickly. Unfortunately, I do not have my microwave plugged in to reheat that little bit, so we are going to because I'll break all this up and it goes into a warmer and it smells really, really good. And thankfully it didn't hinder how much wax was in there, because I think I actually put slightly more than what I did in the last one, at least as far as wax. Because I had a feeling. This out again. And let me tell you, y'all, ever since I started working with wax melts and candles and tarts and all that kind of stuff, I absolutely love the way my house smells. Smells absolutely incredible lately. I walk in my house and I don't smell cats anymore. And I love my cats. That doesn't mean I always want to smell them. If you don't already know, if this is your first time watching the stream, I've got 5 cats. 5 cats. 4 indoor, 1 outdoor. The only reason she's outdoor is, well, she's the only girl. And, well, she's a bitch. Loves people, mostly. Took her many years to finally come around to realizing I was mama and grandma wasn't mama. Because she very much bonded with my mom. When my mom came down to visit us in Florida, we were living in Florida at the time. And yeah, she very, very much bonded with my mom, instead of bonding with me or, blah, blah. Okay. And we got to strawberry. And that one. And yes, I go through a lot of paper towels. But that's why I buy the paper towels that I can split into quarter sheets. That way I'm not actually using a full paper towel. Most of the time to clean these, I use 1/4 of a paper towel. Sometimes half a paper towel. Okay. Zero that out. course, 5 grams. Just a tiny bit over. There we go. Temperature of my thermometer is still going down. I'm actually kind of curious on what it says the room temperature is. Of course, working with, slightly bigger batches is a little bit easier because of the cooling time. But again, it depends on who you are and how you look at it. For me, these little, single batches are actually a little trickier because they cool off so fast. Okay, and that is pretty much all there is to making my wax melts. They're very, very easy to make. Yeah, and I don't mind not putting color in these because as you can probably see from the one sitting in back here, you know, this one here has taken on a kind of a pinkish tone, and this one here has taken on more of a yellow tone, and we'll see what kind of tone this one takes on as it cools a bit more. Okay, so there's that. Wipe this out. Filament change. Since I just soaked up all kinds of strawberry, I'm not going to throw that away right now because it's just going to make my room smell all pretty. But I do need to, even though I wiped it out in between scents, so nothing got tainted. And what I have in here is just some alcohol, diluted alcohol, because we buy these big gallon jugs of 99% alcohol instead of the 71 and 91 that you can get from the stores. That is not what I'm using in here. I actually refill my small bottles with the big bottle, you know, and I put yeah, I put mostly the alcohol in there, but I also put like 5% water to dilute it just slightly so it doesn't, you know, end up drying out my silicone too bad. And the fact that I tend to not let it sit. And now it just smells like alcohol. No more scenty in the center. Okay, so we're good. Now, what I will do from here is we will put these away, and then we'll break out some new scents. Okay, so we wanted the Amber Romance, Black Ice, somewhere. That's Blue Bonnet, which I think we need Blue Bonnet anyway. Yep. Love Spell. You know what? I'm going to add that one to the list. We need that one. Bow ties and bourbon. Two of these? I do. Alrighty then. And black ones. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Still missing a couple. That one's down at the bottom. Midsummer Night. Here we go. So which one am I missing? Black eyes, blue bonnet, bow ties and ribbon. And this. Got the fire. Got fertilizers. Got high maintenance. Into high. Production. That's the one I was missing. Apple pie. Okay, so as you can see from all the bottles that I have listed out there, these are the new scents that we are going to be adding to our wax melts. And some of these are just being added to the wax melts. I don't have candles with these scents, at least not yet. I'm slowly expanding each line, and right now it is the wax melts turn. And then if we do good with our candles at our first event in a while, then we will look into expanding the scents we have in our candles as well. Now, of course, some of these I do have in candles, but most of the ones that I chose to expand this line are not in candle form, at least not yet. I basically test in my wax melt forms. If the scent is a hit, then I add it to my candle line. At least that's kind of the plan that I have going in my head. Let me unplug this for right now so we can get it out of the way. Whoops! Not the first time I've unplugged that light. Because this does not like to come unplugged very easily. Okay, plug our light back in. There we go. Much better. Now, wrap up our wand for right now. down over there so it's out of the way. Oh, one of the other things sorry, I know y'all are looking at my back. I apologize. I don't have much of a choice at the moment. This is where my molds are. That I thought about doing today as well, but I figured it would probably be better if I kind of skip that one for right now. Okay, these are for our tarts. That's for our soap. Make sure we got all the ones we need here. Yes, I'm breaking out the molds. But I'll tell you what, wait till you see the new ones. They're so cute. Those are the labels. I gotta go through those. There we go. Those are the ones I was looking for. Okay. Yes, I have a lot of molds. Okay, so we'll start with the new ones. They need a good wipe off. So these new molds I specifically got. Let me switch screens, guys. I specifically got to be able to do embeds in for the candles. So like once I start doing bigger candles, this will have, you know, pretty little, you know, wax pieces from the molds around the top, you know, and I'll make sure I leave the wick big enough for, you know, of course, for it to burn those and not drown the wick at the same time. But those will be the bigger jars once I venture into those. Right now, I just have the 4-ounce jars, which is a 3.5-ounce candle with crystal chips, and then I've got the 7-ounce jar, which is a 6.5-ounce candle, and these are just the basic scented, nothing added to them or anything like that. And then when I do pick out whatever I want to use for my 10-ounce, those are the ones that will have the embeds on the top and, you know, have the custom design, whatever I decide to put up there. But okay, so this is one of the new ones. And your rubber duckies, aren't they cute? And they got little hearts on them. They're so adorable. Okay, so rubber duckies. And we got stars, you know, simple stars. And we got our flowers. And you've seen these before, I know. I've had this one for a long while, and I do tarts with these. Okay. And this is our big square tarts. Okay. Very simple. And then I've got these, which I also use for our wax melts and tarts, which is simple hearts. Little flowers. This one I save mostly for the lavenders. I don't know why, I just do. And then I got smaller squares. And even some round ones. So I got like I said, I got a ton of different molds, you know, just it's all going to come down to, you know, what I'm doing. As for today, the only ones I really need are, and this one really needs to be wiped off, rinsed off. Alright, I'll take care of that in just a moment. Yeah, the last time I used these, I was in major production mode. So I was doing a lot of them. And I still have a bunch of these square ones left over from the peppermint. Oh, the peppermint. I ended up having purple peppermint squares. And I've had a couple of people ask me, well, why is your peppermint tarts different color than your melt? Well, it's partially because I had done the peppermint squares, the tarts, before I got my colors. But it's also part of the reason why I had decided not to do added colors. You know, yeah, I will for the stuff that gets embedded on top of the candles. Those will have actual color, you know, to make the candle pop a little bit, and you know, that kind of thing. But for, you know, just our regular tarts and our regular candles, regular melts and stuff, I'm not going to add any color. So if you see any tint of color out of the new batches, it comes from the fragrance. There's nothing I can do about that. It's all natural. And I'm sure I got somebody out there going, well, what happens when you do a vanilla and it turns brown? Then it turns brown. You know, I realize, you know, that vanilla will do that to wax, but you know what? That's what you tell people, you know, when they ask, you know, why is it this color, you know, and everything else doesn't have any colors? Well, because vanilla does that to wax. It changes the color. You know, when you buy things like, you know, the vanilla extract, look at it. It's a dark brown. You know, you buy pure vanilla extract, you know, no colors added, things like that, and it's still brown. So yeah, it's gonna color your wax. That's to be expected, you know, with pretty much any fragrance. And I mean, you saw, you know, the fragrances that I get from Plant Guru. You know, just as an example. You know, this is my cherry, so yeah, it's gonna taint the wax, you know, with a pinkish color. This is my apple cinnamon, and it's slightly brown, so, you know, that's gonna happen as well. You know, and then there's gardenia, which is yellow, so it's gonna put, you know, a slight brighter tint to the wax when it's used. And okay, so yes, welcome, absolutely. We like people. Okay, so for what I'm going to do right this moment is I'm going to pick one scent to start off with. I'm not going to make y'all sit through me making all 16, 17 of these fragrances. No, we're going to pick one and do the one on the stream, and then we can do something else after that. Maybe I'll check on the dragon a little bit more. And I can give y'all a really good look at our sunflower. I named him Sunny because he's a sunflower dragon. So I named him Sunny. And know I probably got someone going out there, oh, she named him. She's not going to give him up, she named him. But in this instance, that's actually not true, because all my sunflower dragons that are printed from this point forward will be known as Sunny. Yes, yes. Okay, so we're going to start with a few of these tarts first. And I wish I had a cloud-shaped mold for the scent that I want to do, but I don't. So we're not going to use that scent right this moment. You'll understand cloud-shaped mold. I mean, come on! Cloud-shaped mold. Cotton candy. Yeah. So, actually, you know what? This one will be perfect. An amber vanilla. Let's see what color this changes the wax. Okay? So let's... It smells really good. Kind of light, but really nice. Okay, so we're going to need our cups. And I'm going to leave it on this screen for right now. Let's take this right there, so it's out of the way. This, put this over here. That. Okay, and let's see what else we got here. That one will be a clamshell. Yeah, some of these I will do in clamshells, and some of them I will just do as tarts. And of course, some will have both. Like bluebonnet, I'll have both with that one. And most likely the amber vanilla, I will have both. And I think that in mind. Now, I only have 4 of each fragrance. I only have 4 clamshells when I do them. And if I sell out, I sell out. But if not, hence the reason why I, am able to do one at a time. My brain. So these I have not done anything to. As you can see, this is still flat. So let's put our warning stickers on here. I haven't done front cover labels for this quite yet, so I can show you how I do my labels. Now, it's one of the questions I see asked so much in all of the groups that I'm a part of. And what I mean by all the groups is I am part of a ton of groups. It's how I learned, from other people and their experiences and what they've done, how they've done it. It's how I learned the proper temperatures to pour at. It's how I learned the proper temperatures to add my fragrances, all that kind of good stuff. And that was all because of the groups. kidding. Whoops. Okay, so anyway, my wife is probably in the other room going, more workspace. Good Lord. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Okay, let's see. I'm going to click that up just slightly. There we go. It's cooling just a little too fast. Okay, now this is a newer wax that I'm trying out for the wax melts. It's not the same wax that I used for the original batches. So there have already been testers made for this, and they are currently curing. And I'm hoping the testers come out beautifully with the percentages that I use and everything. You know, but it'll be another 4 or 5 days before I can test those, so I don't think I'll have any issues though, because this particular wax, one, holds a better fragrance load than the last wax did. Excuse me. And it's a lot, and I do mean a lot higher quality. Give me 1 second, guys. I just want to check on something really quick. Yeah, and if you're wondering about the wax that I'm using, it is melt tart at $4.94. GB $4.94. Okay, so this particular wax holds an average of 5 to 10% of my fragrance. You know, the pouring temperatures range between 150 and 160. But these particular clamshells, the max is 150, so I actually have to pour it a bit cooler than what the pouring temperature is supposed to be. Now, like I said, I usually get the best results at around 130. But the melt point on this particular wax is also between 125 and 135. So I think I may actually have to start pouring at about between 135 and 140 in order for me not to get the big glob like I did with the last one. That's pretty much the only difference, other than, you know, it is a lot higher quality than the stuff used before. You know, but the temperature ranges are slightly different than the other stuff. The other stuff, it was, you know, heat the temperature, or heat the wax to 160, mix in your fragrance, and pour. There's no temperature variations or anything like that, and I hated that. You know, of course, you know, being part of the groups and everything, I did learn even back then, still heat it to 180 and add my fragrance, and pour at, you know, 130, 135 if I could. You know, with this particular wax, as you saw, pouring at 130 is a challenge. So I think my pour temperature is going to have to be adjusted just slightly between 135 and 140, like I said. So we're going to try that now, hence the reason why we're going to do one more set of clamshells and tarts. We'll get it down. Y'all are learning with me. Okay, so we're going to need lots of wax because we need lots of stuff. just a little high. So I have to let it cool for just a minute. Temperature's already coming down, so give it just a minute to come down to the 180 where we need it. Now, because I had to click it up a little bit because by the time it got into the container and we moved it over, it was already borderline too cold to pour the fragrance in. So I had to raise it just slightly to make sure that we get our temperatures proper. And yes, it's a new thermometer. Yes, it helps so much. Of course, pouring more takes a little bit longer to cool. Turn that off for a moment. Let's go down in temperature. We'll check it again here in just a moment. Like I said, this is the only one I'm going to make y'all sit through. Because it'll probably take a half hour, 45 minutes or so. So I'm basically going to fill that pot. Okay. Now we're going to move over here just slightly. And I will switch screens for y'all. Okay. Now we're going to pour in our fragrance and stir. This over here, and this over here. Okay. Now I think, I'm almost positive I remember hearing that with, you know, the vanilla in there that, you know, of course it, you know, looks, you know, like all the rest of them, but as it cures in the wax, that's when it starts taking on the more brownish tone. As you can tell, I haven't done a vanilla before. And this is a mixed vanilla, so it may not do it at all. fragrances that I'm showing you, by the way, and that I pull out of here, you know, are not only safe for candles, they're safe for our soaps as well. You know, I made sure when I bought all the fragrances that I bought fragrances that I can use for both, since I do both. You know, I have one. I did something with it. What did I do with it? I know I didn't make a candle with it. At least I don't think I did. I honestly can't remember. Anyway, the scent is Irish Spring. Oh, it smells so good. I love the smell of Irish Spring soap. Yeah, so I may end up just trying it in a candle just to see. Because it is such a pretty scent. No, my wife will appreciate this one. My father-in-law liked Irish Spring, you know. I actually remember him complaining one day that he didn't have any for some reason or another. Alright, let's check our temperature. Definitely still just a little too warm. Filament change. Let that cool, and we keep stirring. I know somebody's probably out there going, why is she still stirring? She stirred for the 2 minutes. Yes, I did, but I also noticed the longer you stir, the more stable it is, the better it comes out. Don't ask me why. You can just... Well, at least for me, the sweet spot is right around 3 minutes. Temperature check. Not yet. I'm gonna have to do some more paper towels. Okay. This one's taking a while to cool down. degrees or so. About 6 degrees it's going to come down. So, a little more stirring. Not quite. I do need my little friend here. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Okay, now we are at pouring temperature. We're at 138, so this particular wax. So let's do our clamshells first. We're definitely not going to have enough for another clamshell. But that's why we've got the tart mold out, because so that way we can pour our extras, because we're going to be doing the same scent again, because we didn't have quite enough in here the first time, but that's okay. But that's pretty much all there is to it for me. I don't know, can y'all see that last quarter one there? This one. But yeah, for my wax melts, that's pretty much it. Now that these back three have mostly solidified, we can actually move them a little bit. Okay, so we'll put those over there. So, okay, so I know y'all can't see it, but I can. Out labels for these. And this is the amber vanilla. Put that over there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually slightly nauseous. And I'm going to share my screen out. So let's switch pages. Okay, so this is my designer. And see one of the images, that's for our strawberry melt. Okay, what we need, object list, because I need to find it's text. Yeah, I'm looking for something specific. Border not showing up. Because I already took it off. Okay. Alright. So, what we're doing here . This is the one thing I've been doing slightly different than the last time, is I'm actually making these colored. Probably like, why? That way it matches our candles. Because if you look at our candles, go back to the screen. Okay. Switch screens so y'all can see better here. Okay, there's not a ton of coloring on our labels, and I kind of do that on purpose because, as you're aware, I'm doing things very wrong way. It's the scent name that has the color, And of course our little logo on the top. So, and it would help if I go back to the screen share, wouldn't it? So I changed the color of just the scent name. That's it. That's all I do. And then top two, I believe. Nope, that's the bottom one. That's that one. That's that one. This one, yeah. This one. Okay. Now that should. Now, because keep in mind, I'm still adjusting. And there's a reason I'm doing this. Because one of the things that I did notice, and yes, that means design will change just slightly. What does it think I am doing? There is nothing in the bleed zone. That's in the bleed zone. Okay, the net weight should be around 2.5 ounces. So let's find out. So, 2 ounces. Okay, so unfortunately, legally by law, I have to put that. But it still looks really good. So, and that is what they look like. I will print one out so you can see. Yes, I know the paper tray is open. It's okay. I opened it. Exactly what we want. Oh yeah, it's a little rocky. Alright, let me go back to the main screen. Okay. So, this is how they turn out. Not too shabby, huh? Take one right off of there. Close that one for now. Turn it around so we don't put it on upside down. Here, I'll show you the craft screen. I had when I first started doing these, some of my first initial ones do have the labels on upside down. It wasn't done on purpose, it just kind of happened. So, now we have label on the top, warning on the bottom, and once I fill it, wax in the middle. That's it. That's how I do my labels. I get all of my labels from a place called Online Labels. Yeah, I know, product promotion. I know a lot of people do Avery labels, but honestly, they're just too expensive. I get these labels averaging 1,000 blank labels for anywhere between $20 and $25. For me, that's a really good price. There are some labels, if I decided to go with clear, then, yeah, you're looking at quite a bit more money for those. But it just depends on what you want your labels to look like and things like that. Eventually, my wife and I talked about doing these clear labels from the Cricut machines. No, and I may still do that. Well, I am still going to do that. I'm going to try it out and see how it works, and if it works, then beautiful. Um, but the biggest thing will be to calculate the price difference and see which one is cheaper. Because the more I'm able to keep my costs down, the better, because that translates to the lower price for the actual products. That's how my brain works. I know some people, you're probably going, well, why is your stuff so cheap compared to other people? Well, it depends on the market and the people around you. Because I go to flea markets and things like that, and the area that I'm in, I've learned my price points in which the people in my area can afford and feel comfortable paying. And it still gives me what I need to be able to continue, making product and staying in business. Just barely, but so that's kind of how I figured out my prices. I figured out my, basically what it costs for me to make one of these. Okay. And then I set my price point accordingly. And like for these, if I remember correctly, it costs me like $1.93 to make these, and I sell them for $3.50. Now, if you're buying two, then you get two for $6, which gives you a discount. And I've had people out there with clamshells that are charging $6 for one of these. I can't afford that. So I don't expect the people around me to be able to afford that. I'm on disability. Yes, I realize it is a premium to have people pay that for, your time and the energy you put into it, and the fact that this is completely handmade. I see why they, are at those price points, and it could cost them, a lot more than it costs me to make it, because I'm very lucky and I'm near my candle supply company, so shipping doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. But not many people are that lucky, so their price points are a lot different. Their cost is a lot different than mine would be. So their prices are higher. It all depends. Everybody's different, and it could be, the company that they go through, their prices are different. So, of course, again, their cost is different. I do mine as much on a budget as I possibly can. I've been doing wax melts for, if she's still listening, what, baby, about a year now? Maybe a little more? Anyway, so, and of course you learn and you grow as you go. But, alright, so, our dragon is doing great. I'm not going to say pretty much anything else because I don't want to jinx it. So we'll just say she's going great, and we're going to leave it at that. He still has back to the device here, and I'll tell you how long he's got left on him. Yeah, he still has another 20 and a half hours on him, so he's not going to be done until tomorrow, which is fine. I'll share the screen now so y'all can. And I know you can't see the video, but you can at least see right now it's at 23%, and it's on layer 38 of 240, and it's got 20 hours and 27 minutes to go. And I'm going to, oops, didn't mean to close that on you. Okay, let me switch back to this one. Okay, so we're going to check our poop bin really quick. And of course there's not much in there, but there is enough. I'm going to show you. This is what it poops out as it changes the filaments. Just little pieces as it's changing out color. No, just a little bit. There's a hole in the back. Magnets glued on the inside. So it just sits, that's the width of the hole that it comes out of. And just right down into the bin. I actually need to print a little bit bigger one of these. Because I've noticed if I'm doing a pretty intricate design, then the poop bin can get full really quickly. And if you're asleep, that can be, you know, a little bit of a challenge. Sorry, I'm getting out some more wax. Multitasking here. And yes, you can see all of my wax is major protected from cats and cat hair and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm just going to fill up my melter here. So we have got a lot of wax that we're going to be working with over the next couple of days. When I got this wax, I only got 10 pounds of it to be able to do a full, you know, testing and a full production off of it. Yeah, it was my container wax that I knew was going to be great. So I bought 45 pounds of the container wax. Which actually worked out really great because I was able to do, oh crap, now I'm trying to think of how many there are. I don't know, somewhere around, let's see, there's 24, somewhere around 30 standard candles and 30 Crystal Series candles. And I've used maybe half, so it's not too bad. You know, as I get to learn my quantities and everything a bit better, you know, I'll be able to know, okay, well, I need exactly this much wax to be able to do exactly this many candles. Yeah, but I'm not quite there yet. I'll get there, just not right now. Okay, put our lid back on there. Our warmer's good, our wax is in there. Hang my container back over here. Okay, now since I couldn't fill this one all the way, it was just what was left over. But it allowed for a nice, quickie tart. So that's the shape. Of course, they're a lot thicker, but this is the size of one of our standard tarts. Okay, and you can drop one of these into, a nice oversized Scentsy pot, or put them in a heat-safe container and throw them on a warmer. Probably like, what do you mean by a warmer? Hold on, I'll show you. Because this is one I take out to the markets with me. These you can find very inexpensive, okay? It's just a very simple, looks like a coffee mug warmer, right? That's because it's dual purpose, it does both. It not only is a coffee warmer, it is a candle warmer. So I have a couple of these running around the house already, one in my living room and one in my wife's room. And I want to get two more, one for our bedroom and one for our workshop. Or in here. But you just plug it in, turn it on, very simple on and off switch. It does the rest. You don't have to set any temperatures or anything like that. And then you just put your container right on top of it and it does the work. I currently have my warmer in the living room going. It's been going for a couple hours, but I also have a really big wickless candle on there. And it takes like 3 or 4 hours just for it to melt enough to start producing a scent. But like I said, it's really big. If you had watched any of the previous streams, you'd see this really pretty, glass that's probably, about this big around at the bottom, and as you get to the top, it gets bigger, and it gets like this big around, and it probably stands like this tall. So, it's a big one. So it takes a few hours for it to melt and start producing the scent. And then I had a little fishbowl one. They're so freaking cute, but the center of it's also like, this big around. So, again, that one takes a few hours to heat up enough to start producing a scent. But that's why I love these little wickless candles, because 20-30 minutes in, they're melted enough, they're producing a scent, and it's awesome. And those little warmers, you can get them Amazon, and they're anywhere from $5, and up. Mine in particular, I got a 2-pack, which was $15, and I got a single, which was like $8. But that's just this particular brand, and I chose this particular brand because, it had a good review, and it does exactly what I wanted to. So, but I think that might be it for today. Went through labels, driving's good, went over the keychains, went over the melts and the tarts. But I'm not going to make you sit here while I do a whole bunch of melts and tarts. So yeah, I think that we are good. And, one last thing. And let me, we gotta find them. Those are boxes. Those are extra towels. These are 3x4s. 2x3s, that's the incense. These are my tarts. I buy very simple baggies for my tarts. And the reason I do them that way is because, the packaging is not the feature. I know some people are like, but it's your packaging. Shouldn't you make it pretty? I would rather it be functional than pretty. And I would rather my customers know that I would rather go with something that costs very little as to keep our markup down. Okay. Now, the one thing I did change about the baggies that we used is these are a bit thicker. So they insulate just a tiny bit better, but they also have the little holes at the top, which means once I get my stuff situated, I can actually hang the tarts so they get a bit more airflow and everything like that, because most of the markets here are outdoors. And wax and, southern states don't always get along, so, I'm thinking that, come later months, if I can't get an indoor venue, then I will start bringing my coolers with me and put some dry ice in my coolers. Because I found these awesome little dry ice packs on Amazon. They're, designed for lunch boxes and stuff, but you can use them in coolers. Duh. So I figure if I, put my wax melts in there and put a little bit of dry ice in there and put my candles and stuff, we should be good. That way they all stay dry and they all stay cool. Because most of the time I only have, put one of these on the table and then, keep the rest in the cooler. That way they all stay cool. Because that way if one package gets a little messy, no big deal. But the rest stay all nice and clean and neat. Cool. So that's kind of where my brain is at the moment for our markets. And don't forget, we start our official markets back next month. Okay? I realize it's kind of an iffy day to be starting them. It is Father's Day. And I wasn't aware of that when I booked it, but I'm okay with that. It's not a huge deal. So June 16th, next month, and we will be. Sorry, I got stuff going a little haywire here. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just double checking the dates and everything, and I'm pretty sure. And everything wants to go slow. Okay, so it's on our Facebook page, which also brings me to something else, which I will get to in just a second. Okay, Sunday, June 16th, okay, it's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the El Encanto Event Center. It's called the Soul Good Sunday Market, okay, and we will be there the entire time. Our spot is already, reserved, paid for, all of that. So no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We will be there. But okay, so let me go over to this really quick so I can show you guys something really quick, and then I'll let you go. So let me go to screen share. Okay, so this is our Facebook page, our main Facebook page. Okay. Sorry, I had to shrink it just slightly. And there's a reason for that. Give me a second. Yeah, I don't want to close it, you ding dong. Okay. That will work for now. Okay, so this is our main Facebook page. Okay, as you can see, we have, a ton of followers and likes and all that. And there is a lot of information going on. Okay, all of our updates, everything like that is posted on this page. Okay, so this is our main Facebook page. And like I said, unfortunately, Facebook forces us to, when you create the store, create a location page. So this is the location page. Okay, and it's just Essence of Magic, Midwest City, Oklahoma. This is the page, I got one straggler left, okay. This is the page you do not want to follow and like, okay. Yeah, it's got all kinds of crap and ads and stuff. I really don't bother with this page very much. And I am streaming live to it at the moment. But as you can see, here is the post, and it is pinned. Okay, so this is the proper one you're supposed to go to. Okay, so right up here in the pin. Click on that, and it will bring you to exactly where you need to be, which is our main page here, with all of our information, all of our updates, all of that goody kind of stuff. Okay? Alright, I apologize. I just wanted to point that out because it, you know, like I said, Facebook is weird and they do things weird, and it confused the crap out of me, and I was like, okay, well, do I make that my main page instead? You know, but I didn't want to have, you know, the ton of people, you know, that are already likes and follows with EoM on our main page here on the LLC page, you know, telling people, well, you gotta go over to this one instead and like this one and follow that one instead. No. Our main page is our main page, and that's, you know, I like it. You know, I've got it set up exactly the way I want it to be. So, alright. So just remember, if Facebook sends you to Essence of Magic, Midwest City, Oklahoma, that's the wrong page. Okay? Find that post, which is pinned right at the top. Click on that link. It will bring you to our main page. You know, if you do a search, I don't know which one it finds. I'm assuming probably the Midwest City one. So just make sure you're clicking the one for LLC. Instead of Midwest City, click the one for LLC. And you should get to us no problem. And of course we've got our YouTube, which houses all of our previous streams, and we keep them there because Facebook only keeps them for 30 days. Our Restream account only keeps them for, I think, 14. With YouTube, they're there, and I don't have to worry. So, you know, we had tried, this time around, we had tried streaming to our Instagram as well. It said no. No big deal. You know, I'll figure that one out later. At least right now we've got Facebook working. We've got our YouTube working. Eventually there may come a time where I can stream directly to our website. You know, depending on, you know, how we decide to do that. And the reason I say we is because, you know, my wife does this amazing server stuff that I can't understand a lick of it. But she's also got 40 years in IT with working with computers and everything like that. Me, I took a class when I was 16 years old to learn how to use DOS. That's it. You know, it was called Computer Fundamentals. So I don't have a whole ton of knowledge when it comes to computers. She's pretty much taught me everything that I do know. So, but anyway, again, I will let y'all go. Our stuff is doing great, and I will continue production over the next few days to a week to be ready for our event in mid-June, June 16th, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you live anywhere in Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, Midwest City, Del City, Shawnee, any of the surrounding areas, you should kind of at least have an idea of what I'm saying when I say it's on Western. And if you know where the Winchester Drive-In Theater is, perfect, because it's right by there. So that's where we will be starting our markets again. And I may end up doing, and only next month, I may end up doing an event at Mary's before then, but probably not. And the reason I say probably not is because none of my candles are going to be ready until, oh, I gotta bring up the calendar again, until right around the 9th. Yes, it's a week earlier than the 16th, but it's still not quite early enough for an extra event at Mary's. I mean, yeah, I could push it and just tell people, well, don't light it for a day or two, but that kind of sucks when you hear that, so I don't want to do that. So I think if we end up doing extra events next month, it will probably be the last weekend of the month. Because, yes, we'll be at the Soul Good Market on the 16th, so either the 22nd and the 23rd, but I'm kind of leaning towards the 29th and the 30th. Because I would like to get into the habit of doing 2 weekends a month but we'll kind of see how we go along. And there's the fact that, August and September tend to be the hottest months of the year. So it'll depend on if I can find an indoor venue for a reasonable price. And I'll explain all that probably next week. We are scheduled for our live streams every Sunday at 3 p.m. I don't usually talk quite this much. Well, I did last week, but usually our streams average about 2 hours to 2.5. But that's usually the max on the streams before the last one and this one. I just talk a lot. Sorry. And we had, quite a bit to cover today, not just the wax melts and the wax tarts, but the keychains and the dragons, the candles, and the molds, all that kind of stuff, next week I do plan on working with soap. So, there's a little, look-see into what we're doing next week. And of course, most likely, probably have something in the printer going as well. So, that's it for today. And I will see y'all next week. Have a great weekend. Blessed be y'all.